Okay, today we're going to look at the cosine rule, and the cosine rule, like the sine rule from the other day, can be used on any triangle. So with SOHCAHTOA, it has to be a right angle. With this sine rule and cosine, it can be on any triangle. Now, cosine has a couple of different versions of its formula, and when we are finding one of the sides, we use one of these formulas, and when we are finding an angle, we'll see on the next page the rearrangement of the cosine formula. So once again, we have to label up our triangle like we did the other day, where we say if we've got a triangle and we call it A, B, C, the side opposite angle A has to be called little a, and the side opposite B, angle B, has to be called little b, and so on, and little c. Okay, so if we have a look at this example down here, so if I label it up, I'd call this little a, this side little b, and we've got angle C. Now, if we were going about, I think the question wants us to find, if we were to find line AB, so C essentially, we'd have a look. So if we're finding C, we'll use the version of formula like this. So we will write C equals, now I'm going to write the square root because I want to find C, not C squared. So the square root of A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. Then we'll just substitute in the values. So we can see A is 5 squared, B is 10 squared, minus 2 times 5 times 10 times cos 67, and that will give you your answer for C. So the cosine rule is used when you have two sides and the included angle between those two sides. So it just depends. These are all just rearranging versions of the cosine rule. So I don't have my calculator, so you guys can work out that one. Okay, on to finding the angle. So these are the versions of the angle formula, but you can see they say cos B. So you actually, if you're finding angle B, it's going to be the inverse cos, of A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. So you can see in the formula, it actually has all the sides included of the triangle. So if you have all sides, you'll use the cosine to find an angle. So let's have a look at this example here. So this would be, I'm going to say find this angle here. Okay, so we've got little a, little b, and little c. Now, because I want to find angle C, I'm going to use this formula, but I'm going to say C equals the inverse of A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. Okay, and then I'll go and substitute in all the formula numbers, So A is 12 squared plus 15 squared minus 6 squared over 2 times 12 times 15. And you'll get your answer, whatever C is, and don't forget that it'll be a degrees. Okay. So just a practical application of the question. So if you can see the diagram, it said find the distance between the two boats. So if I just drew out the question in a basic triangle form, so it's something like that. We've called that A, B, and we might call this C. And we can see that this is 6 kilometers and this is 4 kilometers, and they've said this is 30 degrees, and they want to find the distance between A and B. So I can see I've got the cosine rule because I have two sides and the included angle. So I want to actually find side little c. So C equals the square root, go back and check your formula if you like, of a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. So if I substitute those values in, I have, this is little a, this little b, so I have 4 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 4 times 16 times cos 30 degrees. Okay, and you get your answer, and this will be in kilometers in that one. Okay, so you guys can do exercise 18B, C today using the cosine rule, and I'll see you tomorrow.